Welcome back to the Automotive Logistics and Supply Chain Red Sofa. Very pleased that Levent Yuksel can join us once again. After we had a great discussion last year and on stage today. Levent leading inbound vehicle logistics for JLR. And today we've been focusing a lot, actually over the last few days, we've been focusing a lot on sustainability and how we can accelerate the shift, both in inbound and vehicle logistics, and also being honest about where we're facing challenges. The point that you emphasized in your keynote was you really want to focus more on collaboration over competition.
Exactly.
Can you expand about that a little bit in terms of practically where you'd like to see that happening and perhaps where it should happen more?
Yes, actually this is something that it is started to happen, but definitely we need more of this. And to encourage all stakeholders to take more inroads in this journey, we are bringing the service providers together, our partners together, and we are trying to find creative ways, because we in the inbound area we can do good activities because we have much of a dedicated fleet, and we have the means and tools and the scale of application. And in time, what we discovered, there are some small players, small partners who are working in the FEL area that they want to take these steps in the journey, and they have a limited capability to have that buying power or the capability of having a bunker or something like that. So what we enabled, some of our finished vehicle distribution partners, we are allowing them to use the bunker, which is allowed us for our dedicated fleet to use, which is a big enabler for them, because they are also believing into this journey and they are investing into the bio-CNG tractor units. Then we can help them to move together, and this is a cross-fertilization of the good initiatives to doing the right thing with a responsible business mindset, and this is taking more inroads, and we are looking at other further ways of collaborating with other service providers, especially across to Europe, because it's a bigger landscape for us and bigger challenges for us. So we want to progress in this field by inviting, helping, encouraging, and being a moderator, being a catalyst in the middle. So that's our objective.
That is a great example of collaboration, and actually I wanted to expand a little bit more on the inbound project, because as you were able last year to, across your dedicated fleet, switch to HVO. Talk a little bit about how you were able to make a business case for that, you know, at JLR and also with your service provider.
Yes, exactly. First of all, we started with a big ambition and a will, and also we invited our LSP, our partner, into the same journey with us, and they are believers. So we looked at it. First of all, we wanted to do the basics first. For example, because we have to operate with a fuel which is more expensive than the existing one. So right from the start, we have to generate a business case to fund itself. And therefore, first of all, we looked at the optimization of our routes and route planning and network planning and everything, and trailer fill ratio and cross flows in each way. Then after making the basics first, we made an informed decision about where to use which one, because there is no one silver bullet. We are looking at the availability of the fuel, we are looking at the distance and the frequency of the travel. And when we bring all these together, we made an informed choice about half of our fleet HVO, and that operates in a more cyclic way and not long distance, too long distance, mid distance, short to mid distance. And then we also invested into bio-CNG and bio-LNG for our longer distance, then which can generate the business case to fund the extra we pay for the HVO. So it's a very collaborative approach, very joint activity to look into creative ways of what's there available, how we can make it work, and also we make inroads for only the 2 tractor units for the electric trucks, BEV units, just to see how we can operate with them. We know in terms of scalability, there's an issue about it. However, we are still working to identify how we can make flows that available for the electric tractors to be utilized, and then still they don't distract the business case of operating in a cost efficient and high quality way.
So there we see obviously examples where you were able to offset for some cost to invest for the alternative fuel, and a collaborative approach for the BEV trucks. And actually that connects right to your point earlier, right? So the vehicle logistics shift towards this alternative fuel wouldn't have really been possible if you hadn't been able to make this collaboration with the inbound side.
Exactly. And also we are relying on our key partners, initiatives like the Sail for Change with UECC, biomethane, utilization of biomethane, and more our partners are bringing more environment-friendly vessels, because in the maritime it's more important because of long distance, and also the fueling options are not as versatile and as available. So we are looking at their good initiatives, and we are inviting them to take more good and positive initiatives so that we can build on the business case and we can work collaboratively.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that we've also talked about is the potential for green corridors, particularly in the EU, routes that would be very focused on decarbonisation and sustained with multiple actors and players. Maybe it's not so clear where these are, but what's your reflection on this? I mean, are you already identifying green corridors that you can be using and the industry should be looking strategically at?
Very good question, Chris. Thank you for that, because I've been spending a lot of effort trying to identify where are those green corridors, because there is a lot of talk about it, but in reality, I don't see that it's happening, because as I mentioned in the session earlier on, we are transpassing the Europe from east to west and then west to east. And when we are passing so many states, we want to understand to build on the availability of the fueling options and the corridors and the regulatory subsidies. But in that sense, when we look into the EU Commission's agenda, there have been those prioritized 10T corridors, which there are 9 of them in the core principle, and 9 of them, they are all designed on the principle of eliminating the congestion and establishing one single transport network. Of course, eliminating the congestion helps to reduce the carbon emissions, but there is not significant initiative about the reduction of the carbon emissions and the decarbonization. So in that sense, I would like to generate more understanding and more collaboration between the institutions like ECG or ASEA to work on this, to identify how can we link the concept of the 10T corridors with the sustainable corridors that we can operate. So I think it is something, I see a disconnect. And also looking into the AFIR, which is Alternative Fuels Infrastructure Regulation, their objective is not matching with our ambitions about the decarbonization. So there are good thinking, but they are not connected to each other. So what we are looking at, there are some good green shoots about some good initiatives, especially what we have seen this in a case study in France, that there's a collaboration between a service provider, the energy provider, their customers, and also the state to subsidize a corridor which can operate like a green corridor. Now we are in talks and we are trying to build on this case, how we can expand it to our routes and how we can work on a more collaborative way across the Europe with our own effort and our participation, so that we can generate those. But evidently this is an area that we need, like you said, a strategic approach and more alliance, more coming together to generate the understanding and the importance of these corridors in the Europe.
It's a great point. Clearly, we need some clarity on the green corridors and some more alignment, both from the regulatory side and from the industry, to leverage these opportunities and explore them together. But as a call to action, I think that's a great point from state, from players. Levent, thank you so much for joining us, for being part of our conference and talking about this mission critical issue with our audience in such detail. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Giving me the chance.